So we are live now. Okay. So hello friends again. Uh, Good evening to all of you. And today we have a special guest, uh, Ganesh Bhai. And because see, even I don't know many things about foreign service, and I wanted to invite you. Like this was in my mind that I wanted to invite one person who knows like all the things about foreign service. Okay, and he has secured, as everybody knows, All India Rank 7 in CSE 2019, and he is into Indian Foreign Service. Okay, so welcome Ganesh bhai.
Thanks,
Uh,
bhai.
तो ये तो जब जो हमने लाइक द पर्पस ऑफ दिस सीरीज इज दिस ओनली कि जितने भी बातें हैं कि बहुत सारे लोगों को ऑप्शनल चूज करने में प्रॉब्लम आता है, बहुत सारे लोगों को सर्विस चूज करने में प्रॉब्लम आता है, लाइक दे शुड हैव ऑलवेज इंफॉर्मेशन इन देयर हैंड, right? So this was my motive, and I have already told you guys, Ganesh, he has completed his graduation in computer engineering from IIT-Kanpur, and after that MBA from IIM-Ahmedabad, and then in the second attempt itself he has secured All India Rank 7. Okay, so first of all, congratulations again.
Thanks, Yogesh.
Okay, so see, like little bit I want to know about your journey. Like you are from the God's land, God's country, जिसे हम बोलते हैं केरला से, and from
Tamil Nadu.
Okay, right, it's Tamil Nadu, and from Tamil Nadu, then to IIT Kanpur, and then to IIM Ahmedabad, और ऊपर से then UPSC. I want to know a little bit about this.
So I am from Tamil Nadu, but since my dad was in central government service, so mostly I lived in North India all my life. So like everyone else,
maybe that's the reason you can speak so well Hindi, right?
Yeah. So mostly, like most of my life, I've lived in North India.
Okay.
So that is why I'm pretty comfortable with Hindi.
Right.
So like everyone else, I was good at maths and science, and I liked engineering. I felt I liked engineering. Right. So yeah, wrote JEE, got into IIT. So and during IIT, I realized I was doing computer science. I had good grades, वगैरह, but so at that point, I realized that I don't see myself as a computer scientist for like doing a computer science job for more than like 5 years, 6 years.
Yes.
I did not find it very interesting, and I could see my fellow batchmates who are very passionate about computer science.
Okay.
Like even after an exam, they can actually go to competitive programming competition and then do it, right? So right. I was not as interested, so I thought maybe I should look at something else.
Okay.
At that point, I read these popular economics books like Freakonomics, vagera. So I thought I'm good at maths.
Okay.
I like economics, so probably I'll do well in a finance-like job. So that was the idea behind preparing for B school.
Okay.
So I thought I'll do a finance job, and I thought like IIM-Ahmedabad is considered to be the best B school. So I wrote CAT, got into IIM-Ahmedabad. So I went there. So that is when it opens up a whole world, right? I was not very aware of a lot of things. So B school teaches you finance, but also it teaches you HR, marketing, and everything. So once you go there, your whole perspective of idea changes, especially because I was a fresher. So I went to IIM directly after B.Tech.
Yes.
So I talked to a lot of alumni, senior people, and I went through the course structure as well. So there I realized that probably a finance or trading job that I was thinking of, like is not what I would be interested in. So I was very confused. Everyone was going for management consulting. So I too interned. I did an internship with McKinsey and Company.
Right.
So after that, I said, okay, I don't want to do management consulting as well.
Yes. Yeah. And doing that, like बहुत सारे लोगों का यही होता है कि private job. I'm considering private job, and like okay, it's good for maybe as you said for 5-6 years. Okay, you enjoy that when you are new to this field, but then you don't imagine yourself continuing that for your entire life, right? Something like that. And then what was one motivation, if I can ask, कि जिससे आपको लगा कि अच्छा नहीं मुझे सिविल सर्विसेज ही करना है?
तो मेरा प्राइवेट गवर्नमेंट का कुछ नहीं था. So I did not have this specific belief that I should not work in private sector or government sector. It was more about the job profile.
Okay.
What is the job that interests me? So like I said, I was not, after my internship, I was pretty clear I did not want to get into finance or management consulting, etc. So I started exploring options that would interest me, like jobs that like the field of which interests me, and I have certain qualities that will make me a good fit for that job.
Yes, exactly.
So both of these things, like maybe I love computer science, but I felt that I might not, my personality or interest might not gel well with the job.
Okay.
So that is how we looked for a lot of things. One was getting a faculty position after doing PhD.
Or you even considered that option also?
Yeah, I considered that as well. Then considered civil service. Within civil service, I realized that foreign service was the only service that appealed to me. So I thought, if I write civil service, I'll join only foreign service. So that was the option. So apart from that, I sat for placements and got into a product management role in a tech firm. So my idea was, so that job was also very interesting. I loved it because it was tech, something that I enjoyed, but the job involved everything. It involved finance, marketing, strategy, everything. So that was also an amazing job. So I thought, okay, first preference is foreign service. And if I don't make it, then I'll stay in a product management role, which is also something that interested me very well. So I did not have this idea that I should not do a private job.
That was not the issue.
That was not the issue. It was just the job content.
Yes. And as far as I know, that you only filled foreign service. Right? And today's session is more about that, because see, many people don't feel foreign service as their option. But पिछले कुछ सालों में, पिछले 1, 2, 3, 4 सालों में, there is increased interest in the foreign service also, because many top rankers are choosing foreign service as their option. So इसके बारे में तो डिटेल में हमें बातें करनी है, and because even I don't know many things about it. So one is, what was that one thing that you only put foreign service? So can you say more about this?
So people generally have this preference criteria of 25 jobs, like preference 1, preference 2, preference 3.
Yes.
So my preference 1 was IFS. My preference 2 was doing a product management role in a startup. So like, since I already had work experience there, so my idea was, if I don't make it to foreign service, my second preference is somewhere else. So my second preference is not in civil service, which is why I did not fill it.
So the only foreign service and other service,
like other services were not. I was not interested in them for various reasons.
Yes. So जब हम foreign service choose करते हैं, so which criteria one person should consider कि जिसके वजह से, like, if I want to go for foreign service, एक तो there are two things. One is what that job provides, and second, which are your qualities which are suitable. Even you said that कि आप में जो qualities है, which should be fit, like it should be matching to that service. So first you talk about what should be the qualities in that person, or अगर मतलब नहीं तो reverse करते हैं पहले, what that job provides, which attracted you.
So one is the subject matter that you deal with. So international relations, geopolitics, etc. is a very interesting topic, at least to me. So being in foreign service puts you like at the center of where India's international relation policy happens. You at some point you will be the one making it. So that's an interesting proposition. And then again, some people get bored pretty easily. I'm one of those. So in foreign service, you get posted to a new country every 3 years. So if you're someone who enjoys understanding different cultures, understanding different cuisines, etc., then I think foreign service is a pretty good job. Apart from that, there is also an element of public service that will give you a great satisfaction. You of course represent the country, and it's not just about representing the country. There will be a lot of underprivileged people, for example, say migrant laborers. So as a foreign service officer, you also can manage to help them. But having said that, I do understand that IAS, IPS, etc. have a much more direct contact with them. So so it's a combination of these factors that made me opt for.
But as you said, migrant laborers, अगर हम 1989 की बात करें ना, जब वहाँ पे गल्फ का क्राइसिस चल रहा था, and our diplomats helped many migrants to come to India, right? So and बहुत सारा हमारा वेस्ट एशिया का जो जितना भी मुझे फॉरेन पॉलिसी लगता है, हमारे माइग्रेंट्स के साथ बहुत कनेक्टेड है. इवन इन केस ऑफ इंडिया, जो हमारा डायस्पोरा है, तो डायस्पोरा सेंट्रिक हमारा पॉलिसी तो है. You said one thing that every 3 years you get shifted to a new country. तो वो थोड़ा बताइए कि वो पोस्टिंग वगैरह कैसे होता है जैसे.
So the normal way is you get 2 postings abroad. 3 years and 2 different postings, and then you come to India, to Delhi, to serve in Ministry of External Affairs for 3 years, and then again the cycle continues. So this is not rigid. So some people can have a little more of foreign exposure, some people can have a little more of domestic exposure, but this is broadly how postings work, as far as I know.
और जब इनिशियल पोस्टिंग्स होते हैं, जैसे लाइक जितना मुझे पता है कि अभी जो लोगों का ट्रेनिंग एफएसआई में आपका ट्रेनिंग होता है, राइट? सो एफएसआई में ट्रेनिंग होने के बाद यू गो अब्रॉड एंड यू स्टे देयर फॉर 6 years.
So it's a bit different. So after our training in Foreign Service Institute Delhi, so we have to learn a compulsory foreign language. So we have to pick a language. So let's say someone gets Japanese, they'll probably be sent to Tokyo to study that language. So the language training itself might take 1 to 1.5 years depending on the language.
So आपको फिर जब आप FSI में जाते हैं तो आपको language preferences देना होता है क्या? Right. So you have to give the language preferences. And वो फिर language preference ranks के हिसाब से allocate होता है कैसे?
Yeah. So every language has certain number of vacancies.
Okay.
And you have your ranks. So based on it.
जैसे मतलब हम लोग अगर जैसे कार्डर टाइप है, वैसे आप लोग.
Cadre is not just rank based. So this is purely on rank. So
okay, it is yes.
It is purely on rank.
It is purely on rank. तो आप जो भी 24 लोग हैं इस बार, तो आप वहाँ पे वैकेंसीज होगी और आप भरेंगे.
हाँ भरेंगे.
Okay, and which language you are choosing?
So if I get it, I'll probably choose Chinese, Mandarin.
Okay, Mandarin only, right? Okay. So then you will send to China.
So I think right now Mandarin training happens in Taiwan. So Taiwan. Probably it's Taiwan. Yeah.
Then after completion of 1.5 year there, then you again come back to India.
So that depends. So if there is a post available somewhere nearby where the language is used, etc. So you might get posted abroad. But there are also people who came back to Delhi.
Okay.
After their language training.
Okay. So let's say if you learn Mandarin and if there is a posting in China available, then you will be sent to China.
I might be sent to China.
Okay. Okay. So एक तो ये हुआ. Then like when you are abroad now, like I know that okay they are called diplomats and ambassador something. Ambassador is very highest post I think. So how your career progression takes place, like from the initial posting to the final posting?
So when we are in training, we are called third secretaries, language training.
Okay.
Once we get confirmed in the service after training, they are called second secretary.
Okay.
After second secretary, there is first secretary, consular, and other ranks. So finally, at the highest is the ambassador or high commissioner, followed by deputy chief of mission, deputy high commissioner.
Right. And वो बाद में फिर कुछ लोग हमारे UN में भी represent करते हैं शायद, right?
Right. So वहाँ पे इंडिया का UN में भी वो होता है representation होता है. So they also have an ambassador and other diplomats in New York who cater to UN.
Yes. Then when you guys are in India, you guys work with Ministry of External Affairs.
Yeah.
So what is your job here in India?
So there are different desks. For example, there might be an East Asia desk, West Europe desk.
Right.
So I think depending on your hierarchy, you are posted at a specific position in that desk. So then you handle policy matters, you coordinate with the embassies there, and that is broadly the work.
Right.
As far as I know. So I don't know everything, but based on what I've heard, this is how it works.
Yes, definitely.
And apart from that, they may also be posted to regional passport offices. They can go to deputation to other ministries.
Right. Right. Then, like for how many years you stay abroad? Like, कितना mandatory है कि हाँ इतने साल आपको बाहर रहना ही है?
So there is nothing mandatory. So initial like 1 to 1.5 years of language training is mandatory. After that, as far as I know, it's not mandatory. You can opt to stay in Delhi, but mostly people like if you are in foreign service, of course, you want to serve abroad as well, and that's a good experience. I think most people serve abroad.
Yes, definitely. और फिर बाद में अगर मतलब यहाँ पे कोई अच्छा जॉब है मिनिस्टर ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स में,
but you cannot do more than 2 consecutive foreign postings. So coming back to Delhi is compulsory.
Cooling off period.
There is a cooling off period. After 2 postings, you have to come to Delhi, and only then you can go to your next.
Right. तो अभी तो क्या है कि last few years में foreign service का इतना importance बढ़ गया है that foreign secretary has been appointed as foreign minister also. So what do you think that this service, like it's gaining importance because I think that India's stature is growing in the world. जो भी economically हो, politically हो, like considering our closeness with USA and many other countries. So how do you see foreign service as its importance in next 10 years?
Yeah. So already like when we started independence, we were like pretty poor. We did not have a lot of power. Right now we are third largest economy with PPP, somewhere around third. So I think the global order has not yet changed from World War II. So I believe that in coming years there will be a whole new bargain between developing countries like India, China, etc., who want a better share of power in global order. So probably people of my batch and in foreign service will be the bargainers for India in that space. So that's definitely an exciting prospect for any profession.
Yes. क्योंकि पहले कैसा था कि बहुत लिमिटेड इंडिया का फॉरेन पॉलिसी था, but now we have extended our reach to Africa, then South America and many countries in the world.
reach तो था, लेकिन पावर इतना ज्यादा नहीं था जितना अभी है. Initially हम इतने बड़े इकोनॉमी नहीं थे, इतने बड़े मिलिट्री पावर वगैरह नहीं थे. Compared to the time of independence हम काफी स्ट्रांग हो चुके हैं, काफी हमारी बात ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो चुकी है दुनिया में. तो वही है. तो ऑफ कोर्स तो हमारी पावर शायद एज डिप्लोमेट्स हम ज्यादा एक पावरफुल कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं compared to what earlier Indian diplomats used to do.
Right. And which are other perks associated with this service? अगर हम बोले कि क्या privileges है, perks है?
So इंडिया में जब पोस्टेड होते हैं तब तो नॉर्मल जो भी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सर्विस होता है, नॉर्मल IAS IPS सबका सेम ही सैलरी होता है, सेम क्वार्टर्स मिलता है। और जब आप अब्रॉड पोस्ट होते हैं तो एक एक्स्ट्रा कंपोनेंट होता है कॉल्ड फॉरेन अलाउंस, दैट इज पेड इन डॉलर्स एंड इट इज टैक्स फ्री।
Okay.
So that is to, like, of course abroad the expenses might be high,
living standard is high.
So expenses would be high, so basically they give you a foreign allowance, and I heard that they also give furnished accommodation apart from the salary, and medical facilities.
Yes. So like abhi to you are learning Mandarin, so definitely you would like to go to China. Yeah, but after that, which next posting you will prefer?
So I've not thought a lot about it, so
yeah, I'm the first person to ask you that question.
So first I would like to go to, like, get Chinese as my CFL. After that we'll see.
Even you haven't decided.
So probably, like, if I, at least as far as my current thinking goes, I would prefer to serve in India's neighborhood.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
क्योंकि अभी तो जितना भी मतलब present Indian government and its policies, they are more focused, and we have always focused on our neighborhood. लेकिन फिर भी अभी तो interest बढ़ा है. So एक तो हुआ, you talked about what this service provides. So you said that your interest lies in something and you had some qualities which are matching to this service. So which qualities you are referring to as such?
So एक quality तो है कि, like, enjoying, like, there are people who don't want to get exposed to other cultures, they want to stay in India. So I had no such problem, so I would actually love to go to different places, try out different cultures and cuisines, etc. So I was working in a startup as a product manager, so I had to travel to US regularly. We had sales teams everywhere. So I had very good experiences talking to people from other countries, learning from them. So I thought this is something that I learn, that I enjoy on my own. So if this itself becomes my job, like that, nothing can be better than that. So that is number one. And then of course so this job involves, like, IAS or IPS have actual powers in their hands, right? So they have legal powers. If they want to get something done, they can do it. But foreign service is not like that. You are somewhere else, you have no leverage over others. If someone is posted as ambassador in US, of course US people are US is a more powerful country than India. So how do we get things done? We have no formal power there. So a diplomat has to influence people without having any power over it. And this is something that I did in my job as well. So I was a product manager. So a product manager had to, at an entry-level product manager, had to interact with vice president or a director-level person in engineering or in marketing and influence their decisions. So that job was very enjoyable for me. And a similar thing happens in foreign service as well, but at a bigger level. So I thought if I enjoyed that, then I'll enjoy foreign service even more. So that was another thing that I felt that I would enjoy doing foreign service.
So basically यही है ना कि एक तो क्या सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उससे भी ज्यादा ये है कि विच आर योर क्वालिटीज. क्योंकि आप में मतलब वो सर्विस कितना भी प्रोवाइड कर रही हो, लेकिन इफ यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन इट, एज यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन IAS, राइट, तो वही है कि आपको खुद उस चीज में इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए. सो डेफिनेटली यू विल डू अ गुड जॉब देयर. नाउ स्विचिंग ओवर टू लिटिल बिट ऑफ योर प्रिपरेशन साइड. You chose maths as your optional, and I've seen many people who are from IITs, and यहाँ पे बहुत लोग IIT कानपुर से भी है, और 2-3 लोगों का मैथ्स ही ऑप्शनल है. तो एक तो मैथ्स का जो प्रिपरेशन है, क्योंकि इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड से आके मैथ्स का प्रिपरेशन करना एक तो थोड़ा बहुत होता है, लेकिन one thing is you didn't take any formal coaching. You prepared from home, I think. So first of all, little bit tell us about why someone should choose maths as their optional, and a little bit about how did you prepare maths.
So basically my reason for choosing maths are very simple. So one, it's a very highly scoring subject. It's very objective, and then I've always been good at maths. So I felt that I could be among the toppers in mathematics, and toppers among math, if you're a topper in mathematics, you score like pretty high. So that was the primary reason. So there is nothing very complicated. And anyway, I did computer science. Computer science is not there. And I had management. I could have taken management optional as well, but management optional does not have test series. So maths seemed like a natural choice.
ये maths का test series वगैरह होता है?
Yeah.
So any class?
So I took test series from IMS.
Okay, yes.
Which is in Delhi.
Yes. I think that is the one best good option for maths.
That is the only option I knew of when I started preparing.
Because I have heard from 2-3 people regarding maths optional, then they said the same thing. And if I want to talk more about that, you didn't take any formal coaching, and you prepared this like in your 1 or 2 year. So how did you start? Like you must have taken help from any seniors in college or something. how did you start and how did you manage everything? Because बहुत सारे लोगों को क्या है, क्लास में हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी हम क्लास में मतलब जब स्कूल में पढ़े होते हैं, और अभी इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो मतलब डिफिकल्ट होता नहीं है, but you must have referred any online sources, YouTube videos or something. Like there are many people who cannot afford to go to any formal coaching class. Then please tell more about this.
So maths का काफी straightforward preparation है, तो I did not have any senior guiding me, so I was preparing alone. So I just went to blogs वगैरह. So there were a few blogs. So there is someone called Atul Prakash who's a top ranker in 2017. So there are a lot of blogs. So last year also we had Mr. Varun Reddy. So he has had good marks in maths.
Oh, Varun Reddy was maths optional.
Yeah.
I think his was rank also 7. No?
He was also 7 last year. So I used to watch their videos, blogs, वगैरह. So I got an idea of how to prepare for maths. So that is all the guidance that I had. While preparing, my basic material was IMS study material. So I joined a correspondence course there. So they sent their study material. So basically, I covered everything in their notes. And then there were some topics that are difficult. So some topics have very easy questions or standard questions, and some topics have tricky questions.
Right.
So for those difficult topics, I again bought relevant books that are also mentioned in the blog, and I practiced them again and again. Right. So that is all the preparation that I did. Then I did test series. That's all.
Yeah. Have you written any blog for maths?
I have not written any blog.
You are planning to?
I might, yeah.
You should, because these maths guys, they don't get any guidance. Like let's say if my optional is anthropology, there is abundance of guidance available for any kind of optional like anthropology, sociology. लेकिन maths लेने वाले लोगों को बहुत कम guidance होता है, right? Then how did you go about GS preparation? Again, GS के लिए भी coaching नहीं थी, ली तो वो भी prepare करना थोड़ा बहुत difficult होता है.
हाँ, so GS के लिए ऐसा था कि so I did not focus a lot on GS actually. So 60-70% of my time went to maths.
Yes.
So my idea was I'll do pretty well in maths and then have decent enough scores in all GS papers.
Okay.
That was the only idea. I focused a little bit more on ethics because that requires little preparation. So it was the same. So for every line in syllabus, like every topper says, I had some material, pros, 5 point, cons, 5 point, couple of laws, couple of examples, a map if possible, or a data point, couple of data points if possible. So I created some notes for each of the points on the syllabus. I memorized them, and during test series, I tried to ultimately for every question you have to piece together different pieces of information, analyze it, and give it in an answer form. That is all I do.
Yes. So see, I think this is the trick, that you need to have content ready in your hand, at least little bit. Some basic level content. Let's say GS1 society may, if there is a topic of globalization, at least you should know the definition, proper definition of globalization. Then what are the pros, cons, as he has described them. But फिर भी जब हम मेंस की बात करते हैं, मेंस का भी जो भी प्रिपरेशन है, चलो ऐसे का तो ठीक है, हम इमेजिन करके लिख लेंगे, थोड़ा सा इमेजिनेशन पावर यूज वगैरह करके. फिर भी जीएस में थोड़ा सा जब आंसर क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव करना होता है, I don't suggest to join any class. लेकिन फिर भी did you use any online material or something?
So vision के वो PDFs आते हैं.
हाँ.
So basically for each syllabus line, so I took content. हाँ. So for content I took stuff from there. और current affairs I used Vision's monthly current affair booklet. So उसमें से भी I used to take content to develop my notes.
And you made notes online or offline?
I made it. So for some subjects like history, I made it in a written format. For others, paper 2, 3, 4, वगैरह, I did it on Google Docs.
Yeah. And please tell me, for a maths guy, is it difficult to mug up these things?
So I did not actually mug up a lot of things. So like I said, I spent very little time doing GS. So I had a very short amount of time. So I prepared very short notes, but I had mastered those notes. So I knew something of everything, and I could write a reasonably above average answer. And if you look at my scores, my GS scores are not very high, but I have had above decently average marks in all of my GS papers.
Exactly. And one thing definitely I would like to ask, considering past 2 years straight, you have got 161 marks in CSAT. Now I can understand, okay, maths was your optional. Still there are multiple things in CSAT other than math. तो एक तो ठीक है कि हम ये बोलते हैं कि इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट्स के लिए तो CSAT तो फिर यही है, लेकिन हमारे इंजीनियरिंग के बच्चे फेल हो रहे हैं CSAT में. They are not able to score 67 marks. So how should one prepare about CSAT? Because I would like to make suggestion, because आपने तो prepare किया नहीं है, I know that. But if I'm I belong to any humanities background and I want to prepare CSAT, so what should be the way to prepare CSAT?
Okay, so firstly, I think 70-80% of people don't need to prepare, because you should try out previous year papers. If you're comfortably scoring, like you're scoring 110 or so, then there is no need for that. If if you are someone who's in the boundary, then of course you need to prepare. So even if you're in humanities, I think comprehension questions can be cracked easily.
Yes.
If I, at least based on what I've seen, even humanities people don't crack comprehension questions correctly.
Ganesh bhai, comprehension के question difficult हो रहे हैं. See, maths के question में either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. But a passage question is very difficult sometimes.
So this is something we train for during CAT. So I had prepared for CAT to go to IIM. So in comprehension questions, the trick is this: you don't select a question, you don't select an option, you eliminate options.
Right.
So basically, ये होता है कि a few bunch of things ना. So there is a, what are the basic mistakes that you make? There is a passage, you ask a question and you have 4 answers. So eliminate any answer that goes beyond the prospect of that passage. Let's say global warming कुछ discuss हो रहा है और कोई कहता है यार ये algae करना चाहिए और वो है ही नहीं passage में. So by general knowledge we know that that's the right answer, but it's not in the passage.
Right.
So if it's not in the passage, you don't choose that option. Basically वो option eliminate हो जाता है. और passage में कहते हैं कि this is bad और option दिया होता है this is worse. So आपको actually देखना है कि passage में exactly क्या किया है. आप bad को सोचो क्या कि इसको गंदा कहा है तो ये worse भी गंदा है. That doesn't work. So you have to be in the same order. तो passage में लिखा है वही interpret करना है और passage से थोड़ा भी अलग है, that option is wrong. तो बेसिकली आप ऐसे एलिमिनेट करते जाएंगे तो मोस्ट प्लॉसिबल ऑप्शन आपका बचेगा और आप उसी को चूज करेंगे.
राइट. तो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन के कुछ क्वेश्चन होते हैं 28.
हाँ.
और 28 मेरा तो यही था कि सॉल्व मोर देन 50 क्वेश्चंस. दैट इज द सेफेस्ट स्ट्रेटजी. यू सॉल्व मोर देन 50 क्वेश्चन, गेट 35 क्वेश्चन राइट, यू आर इन. But many people it is not possible for them to solve these questions. जो भी हमारे बेसिक जो लॉजिक एंड रीजनिंग होता है या क्वांट वाले क्वेश्चन है, एक्चुअली दे आर लाइक 10th स्टैंडर्ड लेवल में. ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट तो बोलूंगा नहीं, राइट. बट लाइक हाउ वन शुड प्रिपेयर इफ दैट पर्सन इज लेट्स से इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल एंड तो उसके लिए क्या क्लास ज्वाइन करना चाहिए, क्या खुद से प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए? अगर खुद से प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए तो कैसे करना चाहिए?
अच्छा, तो पहले तो क्लास मुझे नहीं लगता ज्वाइन करने की जरूरत है क्योंकि पास ही करना है. तो इफ यू आर नॉट गुड एट क्वांट तो आपको क्वांट में पूरे नंबर नहीं लाने. You just have to like get 30 marks.
Yes.
You can make up for rest in comprehension. तो 30 मार्क के लिए ऐसा होता है कि there are patterns in logical reasoning and quant questions.
Yes.
So for example speed, time, distance हमेशा आता है. डाइस वाले सवाल हमेशा आते हैं. So there are specific ways of solving it. तो अगर आप डाइस के सवाल एक बार सॉल्व करना सीख लेंगे, you can solve anywhere. So pick and choose those types of questions that appear frequently और ये आपको मिलेंगे. और टफ सवाल हमेशा होंगे. वो टफ like मेरे 162 है, it's not 200, right? So मैंने भी गलतियां की. तो don't try to do all the tough questions. Figure out common patterns क्या है, आसान सवाल क्या है, उनको अच्छे से accurately solve करना सीख लीजिए. And वो इतना आसान नहीं है. जैसे डाइस वाला सवाल आपको पहले देखते समय मुश्किल लगेगा, लेकिन एक्चुअली उसको सॉल्व करने का तरीका किसी कैट के बुक में देखेंगे तो एक ही तरीका है. वो एक बार हो गया तो डाइस के सारे सवाल सॉल्व हो जाएंगे. So just figure out those patterns and do it.
Actually, he is really smart in this, and actually even I did these things कि हाँ ये कैलेंडर वाला क्वेश्चन आता ही है, इसकी ट्रिक इजी है. Even I think Study IQ has videos regarding this, right? तो लेकिन इन्होंने सही बोला गणेश भाई ने कि आप यही करिए कि जो ये वाले क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और ये 10-15 क्वेश्चन होते हैं डायरेक्ट. मतलब you are directly scoring right more than 30 marks here. And you can just easily solve. और मेरा तो यही था कि आपको 80 to 8 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने हैं नहीं. जहां पे भी लगता है ये डिफिकल्ट है छोड़ दो, आगे जाओ, राइट. देन one again area where your score is exceptional is your interview. 205 marks. So one thing is, how did you prepare? What did you prepare for interview? First I would like to ask that question and then your interview experience. So what did you prepare for your interview?
Okay, so I did not get a lot of time to prepare for the interview, so I was not very well prepared. But one advantage I had is one is when you do an MBA, you give a lot of interviews, and when you work, you take interviews as well.
Yes.
So I had a pretty good idea of what people expect in interviews. Like what is considered a good answer is something I knew.
Okay.
So basically, so this is what happened, right? So I had an anchor question right in the beginning. So since I had only one service, I knew where the interview was going to start.
Yes.
So of course they're going to grill me on my service preference.
Yes.
Of course they're going to get into international relations questions to test whether I really know international relations.
Yes.
I had a management background. The chairman has a management background, so I can expect a few questions there.
Right.
So banking crisis was happening. So and of course, so based on your profile, you can actually predict what sort of questions can happen.
Definitely.
So if your DAF is reasonably interesting enough,
yes,
you can predict it to some extent.
Yes.
And during the interview, I think they just look at 2 points.
Yes.
One is based on your answers, is this person good enough to be in the service that he wants to be? And number two, like, are you arguing logically?
Yeah.
So do you think about things logically, and do you communicate it logically?
Okay.
And these are the two things that I believe they tested.
Yes.
And anyway, during my interview, I had a bit of a stress interview. So stress in the sense that they were laughing. I had Mr. P.K. Joshi.
So that person has given very decent mark this time.
I don't know.
Even I interviewed Jayan sir yesterday, and he got 195 PK Joshi board. Yeah. Please continue your interview experience.
Yeah. So it was stress in the interview in the sense that the questions were pretty probing on multiple levels. So two or three members of the board probed me. Like they grilled me one by one. But the board was very cordial. Like they were smiling all the time. But it was stress interview while they were smiling. So that sort of an issue.
See, that smile is deceptive. I will always tell you that smile is deceptive. Manoj Soni sir laughing entire time, he gave very less marks to me. Okay, but definitely, as you said that you have worked and you already given a lot of interview that adds to that experience. Okay,
definitely.
And any interesting question they asked you in interview?
So one member, I'm not sure if he did it deliberately or not. So he asked me whether India should like India imports a lot of things. Shouldn't we stop importing and like make it compulsory, like earlier, make it compulsory that everything should be made in India. We'll buy only Indian stuff.
Okay.
So then I told him that I feel that we should try to reduce import by increasing competitiveness, but I support that we should have free market because of various reasons.
Right.
So he kept countering my point about Swadeshi, etc. But I told him, finally he was exasperated. So he actually had his hand over his head and he told him, "Yaar, finally kya bata do?" So I just gave him an example. I told him, initially when we had protection, Bajaj did well here. But now when we lifted this protection, Bajaj of course went outside, and it is one of the highest selling motorcycles outside, and it imports some parts from China as well. And if we stop this, we might lose a lot of employment, our companies will lose competitiveness, etc. But he did not agree. He kept trying to push me to say that I agree with his Swadeshi plan. But till the end, I think I stood my gun. I gave I registered my inacceptance of his plans in a polite way, but I think I stood my ground. So maybe in spite of putting all this pressure, maybe I stood my ground as far as it was reasonable. So I think that would have helped.
I definitely think that they do this deliberately. Because this is very illogical point that in this today's world we can shut down our imports entirely. But definitely, as you said, that you have to argue logically. Right? You have to argue logically. Then Ganesh bhai, we are moving towards the end, and see again, I don't know how people react to this thing. But what was your first reaction when you got this rank, All India rank 7? I think it was 4th of August. Our result aaya tha. You were working at that time?
No, so I had quit my job about a couple of months before.
You were sure that you will get service.
I was reasonably. I felt that after my exam, I knew I had done decently well in maths. Rest papers also went okay. So I knew I had a good chance of being in top 100. But 7 rank is not what I expected. Right. So definitely I was very happy. I told my mom, so she was very emotional. So like everybody you spend a lot of time and effort to this exam process. So of course when you're done with the exam, you feel satisfied more about not writing the next thing.
Exactly. Or year ka prelims ka paper
I mean, I did not even look at it. I'm done. Once I was done with the results, I did not even look at it.
And Ganesh bhai, then you came here in Labasna, और यहाँ का जो experience है, that experience is again very different. So how is your experience of past? Like we enjoyed FC very less because we were most of the time we were in quarantine. But what did you feel? यहाँ पे हम बहुत लोगों से मिले, बहुत लोगों से यहाँ पे दोस्ती भी हुई, अच्छी हुई. And like, how do you describe your experience in Labasna?
So I felt like it's a lot like college. So basically, college without any so in college your grades matter, but here it's pretty chill. Like you already made it. So basically, the fundamental idea is to meet a lot of people and build camaraderie between them. I think that has worked amazingly. So I mean, of course, we get to meet a lot of people, talk to them, have fun. So it's been pretty fun, except the COVID part. So we just came back from our treks as well.
My next question is pointing to that only, because we met on the trek. अच्छा गणेश भाई क्या कर रहे हो? अच्छा मैं मेरे टेंट में जा रहा हूँ. So how was your experience in your trek?
So I am someone who has not been physically active. So if it was not forced upon me, I would have never done a trek in my life. and we had to go to 4,000 meters height. Seema Taj.
Seema Taj का ठंड बहुत ज़्यादा था.
Yeah, extremely cold.
Yes.
So it's like while during the trek I was counting the days, but now that I look back at it, I have very good memories.
Exactly.
The memories you have your tent mate.
Yeah.
You discuss stuff
overnight. Who was your tent mate?
So my tent mate was Prashant and Giri.
Achha, you are Prashant and Giri. Yes.
Yeah. Prashant and Giri were my tent mates.
Both are here.
Both are here. Yeah. So we had amazing fun. So it was a very different sort of fun. So physically it was challenging.
Yes.
So once you complete it, you have the feeling that okay, I can do this much.
Yes.
I'm not that bad in doing physical stuff. Yeah.
मुझे क्या लगा कि जब हमने ट्रैक किया ना, like especially the one from Dodital to Seema Taj, and for in your case from Seema Taj to Dodital, that if we can do this, we can do many things in our life.
Yeah.
Because we never checked upon our potential.
Yeah.
कि हमारा potential इससे कई गुना ज़्यादा है, because that snow वाला trek and it was very little bit difficult, right? But yes, definitely लबासना का वो अलग से है enjoyment कि due to ये थोड़ा सा COVID का. Then see, if I'm a beginner in this preparation, and then how, like what motivation one should have, because many people always talk about maintaining consistency. और पहले दूसरे अटेम्प्ट में अगर कोई पर्सन क्लियर करता है, definitely that person has lot of consistency in the preparation. So what one thing you will suggest regarding that?
So consistency is definitely important for any exam, not just civil service exam. So at least this is what I would recommend people to do. So be very logical in your preparation. Like think before doing anything. So even before jumping into preparation, like figure out are you really interested in this job? Don't jump in because someone wants to do it. So look at job profile, figure out if you want to give civil service, and if you want to give civil service, which all services would you prefer? And if in case you don't make it to those services, what will you do? What is the maximum number of attempts you will give? Like decide all of this beforehand. Like if you don't make it, what is your backup plan, etc. So plan all of these things. So if you plan all of these things, it reduces a lot of stress and anxiety during the course of preparation. So plan everything out. Know why are you jumping into this exam. So jumping into this exam need not be something very Mother Teresa like you want to serve. It's very possible that you want to like make your parents proud. That's a reasonable reason. Exactly. But it has to be a strong reason. If you're sure that if you feel that after 2 months I don't really care what my parents feel about me, then that's not a good reason. But if it really matters to you, then like that reason is also pretty good. Yeah, many people come to Delhi, they attend for classes for 2 months. Acha, mere se nahi ho raha hai abhi. Right? Because it should come from within you, right? Because finally you have to do it. So the reason could be as narrow or as childish as you want, but the reason should be strong enough. That's all I would say. For me, it was not a very idealistic thing. Like my parents were not happy with me joining civil service. Oh, really? So for me, it was just like getting into a job that I would love doing for the next 30 years. That was the only thing that motivated me, and that is the only thing that I prepared for. And it's not a very lofty opinion. Yeah. Right. Of course, there is a sense of public service, etc. But the main reason was I needed an interesting job. See, that everybody wants one employment in their life, and if that employment is interesting, and that's what you like in your life, so I would say this is a good enough motivation for you to start preparation. Right. Okay, Ganesh bhai, thank you so much. And शायद इतना frankly तो काफी इतना बात भी नहीं की, but definitely this I know that you will do wonders in your service, and because see, the one person who has filled this only one option and आप जाओगे तो definitely आप अच्छा ही काम करोगे, and definitely if you want any help future regarding any country, you know, okay, कि अच्छा इनको contact करना है, definitely he'll be there to help you. And thank you so much for this time, and this was again a very interesting session क्योंकि सब लोगों से बात हो रही है ना, और even I feel lucky myself कि इतना टाइम लोगों से मुझे मिल रहा है. Same here. No, always there for you. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you got very important information about foreign service as well as maths optional, as well as CSAT, important CSAT, because many people are failing in CSAT. As he has said, there is no need to join any class, but definitely you should know कि आपको कितना आता है कितना नहीं आता है, and if you don't know then definitely you should prepare. So he has talked about multiple things, and thank you so much. We will meet in next session. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night. Thanks guys.